All right. Well, moving on to everybody's talking about this book, Prince Harry's shocking memoir, Spare. It has sparked a lot of conversation, both good and bad. So starting off with Caroline Flack's former publicist, Alex Mullen, he slammed Prince Harry for detailing his relationship with the late TV presenter, who, of course, died by suicide in 2020. He wrote, "It's absolutely gross for Prince Harry to reveal such private details about Caroline Flack. The way in which the press spoke about her at the time and the reason they split are both very sad, and it's disgusting. He's brought up old, long forgotten slurs she had to suffer in full view of the public around the world." He added, "Of course, Caroline reacted to them with humor and grace, but privately she was deeply hurt. Just the first of many instances she didn't deserve." He said that Harry's decision to remind everybody was appalling and the book is grotesque. The British military is also taking issue with several former commanders condemning the Duke of Sussex during his 2 deployments in Afghanistan. He discussed the killings, claiming that he did not feel like the victims were real people, but rather than chess pieces removed from the board. So can Prince Harry be sued for defamation by Caroline's family or even the royal family in this instance? Because, he really goes in hard on them as well.
There's so much going on, and we know that Prince Harry does not like the British tabloids and the media. Mm-hmm. But with respect to Caroline, obviously a really sad case. She took her own life. My thoughts go out to her family. But the law is very clear. You can't defame the dead. Right. So there's nothing that Caroline's family can do with respect to what Prince Harry said about her in the book Spare.
Yeah, it's cool. Like you said, he has a very big issue with the British press. Can the British press take anything in this book and, start another lawsuit with Prince Harry based on the claims that he makes about some of the things that they do?
Yeah, but the press may, particularly if there's individual reporters or, media outlets he's talking about. It's much tougher with respect to the government. Again, the government isn't in the business of suing people for defamation. People say all sorts of bad things about the government. So I don't expect any lawsuits by the government against Prince Harry. But again, if there's something very specific that was said about an individual reporter or an outlet, we know that defamation laws are much, much more favorable in Europe. So people like to sue for defamation there a lot more than here in the United States because you don't necessarily have those same free speech protections in the UK and elsewhere in Europe that you do here in the United States. Yeah.
It was interesting. He's been getting a lot of flack for the comments that he made about the military and about the killings that he did. Can the British Armed Forces take any action against Harry if he incites attacks on British soldiers? Because I know some of them were worried that could happen, based on, how he spoke about his experience.
Generally speaking, any type of violent act or crime is outside what we call proximate causation. So, let's say I were to say something and someone else were to, engage in an act of violence. That's usually considered outside the chain of causation. But this is where we're actually potentially dealing with the Capitol riots and folks like the former president who may have been present. So generally speaking, that's going to be the law's position. I think it's far too attenuated if there are attacks on British military because of something Prince Harry said. So I don't think a court would rule that there's a sufficient causal link for the prince to be held liable.
Definitely. And this was also interesting, and maybe you can clear it up, because when Anderson Cooper, Good Morning America, they reached out to the palace for comment, the palace lawyers asked to see the content prior to airing. But they basically said that they denied their request. So why would the shows offer to comment on material in advance only to deny access? It seems like they were probably asking for the raw footage, which is not what they would do.
Yeah, I think the issue is, we all know that the Prince and Meghan, people love them, whether it's their Netflix show or the book. So I think these, media outlets, they want to keep control of the material, make sure it's not linked. They want to have the exclusive rights to air it first, because we know it's on Legally Us. We get a lot of questions about the royals. So this is big news, and they don't want to share it with the royal family before it's aired in public.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.